What's going on, everyone? It's Selna Kim here, America's face of dating, and today we have an amazing video to go through. Basically, if you're struggling with flirting with girls, then this is going to be the video that separates you from every other guy out there. I've coached so many guys out in the world now who are just, their flirting game is just different because, as we know, if you're out in the world, like, girls are getting hit on left, right, up and down. You could be walking through the city and fucking from 4 stories up, she's getting hollered at and whistled at by some guy fucking up in his window trying to get a girl's number from walking on the sidewalk. You have to separate yourself from the competition, okay? You have to separate yourself away from how every other guy flirts with girls. And that's actually way easier than what you'd expect. And so let me tell you like a little bit of story and what this technique really is. It's called the frame battle. Okay, it's very, very simple to understand, and I'm going to tell you through a story. So I was coaching a client this morning, and what inspired this video is that we were talking about on the call. He was talking about how he was at the bar, and he walked up to this girl, and his opening line to the girl was, "I bet you can't tell me something that's going to make me mad and happy at the same exact time," which is a pretty good one. And I actually told him to use that line. I think it's a really, really great line, and the joke originally came from really fast. The joke, this line originally came from a joke that I heard once, and the joke was, a husband walks up to the wife, and he asks his wife, "I bet you can't tell me something that's gonna make me happy and sad at the same time." And the wife thinks about it for a moment. She's like, and she's like, "Oh, I got it." He's like, "What's that?" And she goes, "Out of all your friends, you have the biggest dick." And so when you get it, let me know in the comments when you get it below, because basically what she's saying is that how would she know how big his friends' dicks are? Now you got the joke, okay? She's been fucking his friends, god damn it. And so anyways, moving on to what was really, you hear this fucking plane, like right when I'm trying to record a video in the Kim Garden, a fucking plane comes over my head. It's probably my fucking private jet coming to get me, but whatever, man. I'm like, dude, that's not for another 2 hours, okay? Jeez, like, you're a little bit early. I gotta take care of my people first. But anyways, going back to what my client and I were talking about. So he walks up to this girl in the bar, right? And his opening line was, "I bet you can't tell me something that makes me happy and sad at the same exact time." And what she said back, she was very, very sassy. He said that she was very, very beautiful. And the sassier the girl probably means the more she gets hit on by guys, and she's testing him more and more. And so what she said back to him was, she was like, "Why would I do that? Why would I tell you that? Why would I want to do that?" And so he responds to her and he goes, "Oh, you're pretty sassy. It'd probably never work between us," right? He's putting a little disqualifier. It's called the disqualifier technique in there. He's basically putting a barrier. He's like, it would not work between us because you're so sassy. And she hits him back with a banger. So she's flirting back with him in a way. She goes, "Yeah, you probably couldn't handle it anyway." And I forget what he said, but what would most guys say based off of that? I think he said back, he said, "Yeah, you probably couldn't, like, there's nothing to handle," which is still a pretty good line, but he said that he couldn't seal the deal. He couldn't make her feel those feelings of desire that's going to separate him, like I said, from every other man that's flirting with her. And so what I told him to say instead, this is how I would have handled that. And I've actually been put in this situation before where the girl, she tells me, let's say that she tells me, she's like, "Oh, like you probably couldn't handle it anyway." What I would have done is I'd be like, "Hey, like, how about you introduce yourself before you start talking dirty to me?" And she's probably going to laugh, and she's probably going to be like, "I'm not talking dirty to you." I'm just like, "Oh my God, it's a beautiful first name. Where'd you get it from? Is it Greek?" And you still, like, you hold out your hand. She's probably going to break out and start laughing just because that is the frame battle right there. Like, most guys, when they're dating, when they're trying to talk to a girl, they put her, I heard that once that they put her in categories, basically like girls that I wouldn't sleep with and then girls that I would sleep with. And the problem with most guys is that they lose their frame once they put the girl in the box that they would sleep with her, because they start talking to her and treating her differently. God, a bug just fucking flew in my face. Treating her differently than how they would if a girl is like a 8 or below, or like a 9 and below. They treat a 10 differently, and you can't treat a 10 differently or else she's going to test you and you're going to lose that frame. Basically, the frame that I'm talking about in this situation is that I'm basically sitting back and I'm saying, no matter what's going to happen, you'll never be able to sleep with me. You can't have me. That's my frame. And my responses are based off of my frame. Everything starts as a thought. Everything starts as a thought and then is projected out through either your actions or your words. Okay? It starts as a thought and then it comes out in the way that you do things or the way that you talk. Right? That is how game works. And so if my thought in my head is, this girl doesn't have a chance with me, Even if I think she's a 10, even if I think she's beautiful, I'm just like, this girl doesn't have a chance with me. And everything she says, I don't care what she says, it's me, I'm gonna interpret it as she is hitting on me. Okay, it doesn't matter who it is, what it is, I interpret it as she is hitting on me. Everything she is saying is to get with me. And so when a girl tells me you probably can't handle it, I interpreted that as very sexual. She's basically saying like, oh, like you can't handle me in the bed. That's how I'm seeing it. And that's why I said, hey, like, why don't you introduce yourself before you start talking dirty to me? And she's like, and she'll probably laugh and be like, I'm not talking dirty to you. I'm just like, oh my God, it's a beautiful name. Where'd you get it from? Is it Greek, Spanish? And I'm like, holding my hand, like, and she's probably dying laughing. That's your frame. And like, when she tests you like that, oh, you probably can't handle it, and you maintain your frame, for 2 more tests, she will break and she will eventually fall into your frame. Remember this in conversation, especially with flirting with girls, is that the stronger the frame that you have, whoever has the stronger frame, the other person falls into. And most guys fall into her frame. They fall into the frame that the guy is trying to hit on the girl, right? And what you want to do is you want to have the girl act like the girl is hitting on you, and that's going to separate you from every other guy out there. I promise you, it's going to change the way that your game works. I can't emphasize that enough. So change your interpretation, and it is going to change the way that women perceive you, which ultimately makes you way more attractive and stand out versus every other guy out there. And so let me know the questions that you have in the comments section. And also, if you need help with this, then go to my website and jump into the AMP installment. I literally have so many techniques like this, and already like the scripted lines and things to do to separate yourself from every other man out there. And so on that note, I'm Selna Kim, America's face of dating. I'll see you next time.